I'm here with Bruce Hirst, and your shirt even matches your molds. Bruce, you started as a public school teacher?
Yeah. I taught graphic arts, which is printing, press printing, t-shirt printing, using graphics programs like Adobe Photoshop. It was a VOTech, actually, so it was high school students, juniors, seniors, and I taught that for 10 years.
I have to say, your videos and tutorials are probably one of the best reasons to get Hirst Arts, because you provide so much information on how to do that. I mean, how much of that conscious decision was that?
Well, it just so happened that it worked out. I started painting miniatures while I was teaching, and I wanted a way to build terrain to hold my miniatures. And it just so happened that I had written lesson plans and other things for teaching. So it just seemed to sort of work out when I figured out how to do something, how to write plans in a way that people could understand, because, you know, being a teacher, you sort of have to do that.
With the Hirst Arts Design Derby every year, how excited do you get by all the submissions?
They're really nice. People spend a lot of time on those. You know, it's one of those things that it just works out really well. You have to go to the website and sort of look at them, but it's kind of amazing what people do every year on those things. More time than I have to try to build something like that, but I try to stick more to smaller projects that are easier to complete, and then people, once they do a small project and know how the blocks work, then their mind takes off and they never follow the plans anymore. So it's usually better to start off with small projects. I don't do anything really grand like the cathedral or the chess set much anymore. You know.
How closely do you follow someone like Gerald G.E. Boom, right?
Oh, I haven't heard from him in a while, actually. But I'm always interested in what he's doing. I still have a link to his website on the thing. He started making these cool ships and other things like that. I really haven't heard anything from him for the last couple of years, but he did some really nice stuff. I check the message board once a day. I check in, emails every day, and try to basically get to work making new stuff and making the molds to keep the business going.
Your price it's consistent even here at Gen Con, and I've been showing you, but all around me are molds and things you've built. Are all these ones the ones from the tutorial videos?
Yeah,
pretty much?
Yeah, everything you see here are the ones that I had originally used to make my tutorials from. So I just bring them to the convention. I'd rather make something, not make it more than once. Once I get to it and get the plans, I'm ready to move on to the next thing. So. There's a few exceptions, like the Space Hulk board that I did. That one I made a huge set because I like playing Space Hulk, and so we play on the thing. It works the way with several of them. If there's a game that I kind of like, a lot of times I'll just make mold for it, like Wiz Wars. It's not a real big seller, but I love playing Wiz Wars, so that's why I made the darn thing.
Now you have obviously a team here with you, but at once back home in the South, you're from
Missouri.
Missouri. Oh, you're from Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri.
Okay.
In the middle.
Is it pretty much you?
It's just me and my wife. I make all the molds and sculpt the pieces and make the molds and all that. She does the office work, handles the taxes, and does all the books and fills the orders, and so we just sort of do everything that way. And then we just got a friend to help us out at the convention, and that's it. It's just two of us in our house. That's the whole business.
What about your licensing? You've been kind of more open source, or allowing people to have some freedom with making their own versions of your molds and stuff like that.
So the license agreement is just sort of a tool to allow people to kind of do what they want. It's if you're a hobbyist and you want to make molds of the stuff for your own personal use, that's fine. Go ahead and do it. Make whatever you want to make molds of it so you can create more. The thing is, you're not allowed to sell the molds that you make made from our stuff. Now, if you're in business to make money, well, we sort of have to have a license agreement. That's the only
like ITAR's workshop, things like that.
Yeah. Now, as far as a workshop, like putting on class, we usually don't worry about it. But if you're there to make money from the product, then we sort of have to have some control over what you do with it. So, we don't lose our copyright. We sort of have to kind of to keep that under reins a little bit. But as far as personal use, we're pretty free with it.
How much have you gone into SketchUp yourself? Am I correct that came from fans of your stuff?
That came from fans. I've never used the program. You know, so it looks cool, it works fine, but you know, I just stack the blocks up rather than use the program. I just prefer stacking it up. I cast twice as many blocks as I need, then I build it, and then I take the other stack of blocks and fix everything that I didn't like in the first one. And then I take those original blocks and redo them until I finally get what I want.
Now, is the Merlins Magic here? It's just to show, for example, what you would use, or you're more endorsing it?
Well, what it is that people have to have a good product to use. I don't sell it, but I do have links on the website for people who do. So this is a sample, but it comes in a 50-pound box, and it's just the best stuff to use. It's what I use, because if people don't have a good product to use, it's kind of hard to use the mold. So, you know, I help them out by promoting the product, and they help me out by giving customers something they can use.
Okay, and when can we expect some new molds?
Probably in the next month. I've got 3 tavern accessory molds coming out, but I've just got to work on the little bits. I'm working on books and bottles and all kinds of little stuff. And it's just really tricky trying to get stuff to actually come out of the mold. You know, what can you use? How many different ways can you use it? Can you actually cast this darn thing in plaster? You know, those are the things that you got to figure out when you make the mold. And sometimes you make it and then you realize, well, this don't work, so I got to make it again. So, you know, it just takes a lot of time in that way. Several attempts, and you always have to go into it realizing that no matter what you make, you're going to have to throw it in the trash and make it again. Even if you spent 50 hours on it, it's going in the trash because you finally realized how to make it by the time you got done. So that's what the time-consuming part people don't realize a lot of times, is that you kind of get depressed when you start a new project because you know you're going to be wasting so many hours on something you're going to throw away just to figure out how to really do it.
Okay. Well, thanks, Bruce.
Yeah.